Have you ever wondered that little Wi-Fi modem sitting right next to your bed quietly sending out invisible waves every night? Could it actually be silently affecting your health? This topic has sparked endless debate among scientists, medical experts, and the general public. Some people believe it is completely harmless, while others are convinced it is the hidden culprit behind a whole range of health issues. Today, we are going to break it all down based on science and real-life experiences. No drama, no exaggeration. And here is my promise: by the end of this video, you will know exactly how to protect yourself and your family with just one very small change in your bedroom, a change that can make a huge difference. Before we dive in, go ahead and drop a comment below with a positive affirmation, a little commitment to invite good things into your life. Something like "I choose peaceful and healthy sleep every night," or whatever positive intention feels right for you. And do not forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on more helpful content like this. Together, let's build a community full of positive energy, a place where everyone is protected and living a healthier life every single day. To better understand how Wi-Fi and electromagnetic waves affect our health, we first need to understand what electromagnetic waves actually are. Electromagnetic waves are a form of energy that travels through space in the form of oscillating electric and magnetic fields. You can imagine them like waves on the surface of water, except instead of moving through water, they travel through air and space. Each type of electromagnetic wave carries its own level of energy and frequency, which determines how it interacts with the environment and with the human body. When we talk about different types of electromagnetic waves, we usually classify them based on their frequency and energy. At one end of the spectrum are high-energy waves such as gamma rays, X-rays, and ultraviolet rays. These waves carry enough energy to break chemical bonds and damage DNA, making them a major cause of cancer and premature aging. Then we have infrared rays, which we usually feel as heat, for example, when standing near a heater or under soft sunlight. In fact, our bodies also emit a small amount of infrared radiation all the time. At lower frequencies, there are extremely low-frequency waves, such as those emitted by high-voltage power lines or household electrical appliances. Even though these carry less energy than the rays mentioned above, long-term exposure at high intensity can still cause certain biological effects that may impact health. And among the most common low-frequency electromagnetic waves today are radio waves, the type used to transmit radio signals, television broadcasts, mobile phones, and Wi-Fi. Radio waves can travel long distances and pass through barriers like walls, but each photon of these waves carries very little energy, not enough to break molecular structures in cells, like gamma rays or X-rays do. Microwaves. A higher frequency form of radio waves are also used in microwave ovens and modern technologies like 5G networks. The common feature of these non-ionizing waves is that they cannot directly damage DNA or cause acute injuries like high-energy radiation can. Because of this, scientists divide the electromagnetic spectrum into two main categories: ionizing radiation and non-ionizing radiation. Ionizing radiation such as X-rays and gamma rays can cause serious damage because of its extremely high energy. On the other hand, non-ionizing radiation, which includes Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, radio waves, and infrared, carries much lower energy and does not have the ability to directly destroy DNA. However, non-ionizing does not mean completely harmless. When exposed to high intensities or for long periods of time, even these types of waves can trigger biological responses such as increased tissue temperature, oxidative stress, or elevated free radicals, all of which can affect health, especially in older adults whose immune systems and cellular repair functions are weaker. Now that we understand the basics of electromagnetic waves, let's explore how these waves actually affect the human body, especially when the exposure is long-term and at different intensity levels. Understanding the real impact gives us a more accurate view of both the safety and the potential risks. When electromagnetic waves enter the body, the level of impact is not always the same. Some types of waves carry extremely high energy that can directly damage cells and alter DNA structure. This is the main cause of serious diseases such as cancer and it can also accelerate the aging process. Fortunately, these kinds of waves are not commonly found in household electronic devices or the Wi-Fi we use every day. In contrast, waves like Wi-Fi and Bluetooth belong to the much lower energy category, and they typically do not have enough power to directly damage cellular structures. Under normal conditions, their main effect is a slight increase in body temperature, but this increase is very minimal and generally not harmful unless you are exposed at very close range or for extended periods of time. However, when the wave intensity is too high and exposure lasts too long, studies have shown that these waves can trigger a condition called oxidative stress. This is a process where the body is affected by free radicals, unstable molecules that can damage cells and tissues. Oxidative stress is considered one of the main factors behind the decline in function of many organs, especially the cardiovascular system and the immune system. In older adults, these effects are much more pronounced since their ability to resist and repair cellular damage naturally decreases with age. Sleep is one of the clearest examples. Being exposed to electromagnetic waves right next to the bed, even if it does not cause obvious symptoms, can disrupt deep sleep cycles, making it harder to fall asleep or causing frequent awakenings during the night. Poor quality sleep then leads to problems with memory, mood, and overall health. Additionally, the immune system in older individuals is already weaker, so when it faces increased oxidative stress caused by electromagnetic waves, its ability to fight off bacteria, viruses, and cellular damage drops significantly. The cardiovascular system is also affected, as these waves can influence heart rate and blood pressure, increasing the risk of heart disease if not properly managed. That said, all of these effects only become concerning when exposure levels are extremely high or continuous over a long period of time. Under normal usage conditions, keeping a reasonable distance and limiting device use at night, the negative effects can be greatly reduced. Once we understand the potential ways electromagnetic waves might affect the human body, the next important step is to look at experimental evidence from scientific research. This is a critical step to separate unproven concerns from findings that are actually backed by data. Several animal studies have revealed some noteworthy signals. In long-term experiments, scientists observed that when animals were exposed to high-intensity electromagnetic waves over a sustained period, the levels of melatonin in their bodies dropped significantly. Melatonin is a hormone essential for maintaining sleep cycles and regulating circadian rhythms. When melatonin levels fall, sleep becomes disrupted and less restorative. While these findings come from animal studies, they lay an important foundation for evaluating how electromagnetic waves might affect humans, especially older adults who are more sensitive when it comes to sleep quality. In humans, similar effects have been observed under high exposure conditions. For instance, people living very close to large broadcasting towers or mobile phone base stations have shown potential impacts on sperm quality. However, it is important to stress that these are cases involving exposure levels far beyond what is typically encountered at home or in an office setting. As for everyday devices like Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, most research has not found any clear evidence of negative effects on genes or reproductive health. In fact, when scientists reviewed and evaluated more than 80% of studies involving Wi-Fi and Bluetooth at typical usage levels, they found no credible evidence that these electromagnetic waves cause genetic damage or mutations. This is a reliable conclusion because the studies were conducted under strict controls and repeated across multiple laboratories around the world. That said, science also emphasizes that the harmful effects of electromagnetic waves are not absolute. They always depend on three key factors: wave intensity, duration of exposure, and distance from the source. The stronger the wave, the longer the exposure, and the closer the distance, the higher the potential risk to health. This is the key to understanding why placing a Wi-Fi modem right next to your bed is often flagged as something worth adjusting, especially for older adults. Putting all this scientific evidence together, we can come to a more balanced and realistic conclusion. Wi-Fi and other non-ionizing waves are not silent killers, as some people fear, but they should not be taken lightly either. Simple precautions such as maintaining a safe distance limiting exposure time and turning off devices when not in use are effective ways to minimize potential risks. Following everything we have just discussed about electromagnetic waves, there is one topic that many people are particularly interested in and hopeful about, and that is so-called anti-radiation or EMF blocking products. These days, it is easy to find cards, stickers, wristbands, or surface coatings marketed as tools to block waves, absorb signals, or protect your body from Wi-Fi and electromagnetic radiation. But the real question is, do these products actually work as advertised first? We need to understand how electromagnetic waves behave from a scientific perspective. Electromagnetic waves are oscillations of electric and magnetic fields that travel through space in waveform. They are similar to sound waves that travel through the air, but because these are electromagnetic waves, they cannot be easily blocked by small objects like thin stickers or plastic cards. These waves can pass through many types of materials, and in order to significantly reduce their intensity, you would need specialized equipment or materials that can absorb or reflect them effectively, like a Faraday cage or specially designed metal shielding. Many independent scientific organizations have tested the electromagnetic field intensity around so-called anti-radiation products. The results consistently show that these cards or stickers have almost no impact on the strength of Wi-Fi or other electromagnetic waves coming from modems or similar devices. Even with professional measuring tools placed near these products, the recorded wave intensity remains virtually the same as when the product is not present. The reason lies in the physical nature of electromagnetic waves. A small and thin material does not have the capacity to create a continuous barrier that can block or absorb these waves. Moreover, Wi-Fi and radio signals are emitted in multiple directions, not just from one single point, but also through reflections throughout the home. This makes it essentially impossible to reduce exposure meaningfully using just a small sticker on your modem or phone. This leads to the reality that many of these anti-radiation products being heavily marketed are in fact a form of marketing strategy. They rely on the fear and desire for safety from consumers. The promises to protect you from electromagnetic harm without any clear scientific backing have led many people to waste money on ineffective products and worse, to ignore more practical and proven ways to protect themselves. That is why, instead of relying on anti-wave charms that lack real evidence, users should focus on scientifically supported methods, like maintaining a safe distance between your body and signal-emitting devices, turning off Wi-Fi when not in use, or placing your modem in a better position away from your sleeping area. Now that we clearly understand the nature of electromagnetic waves, their potential effects, and the truth behind so-called anti-radiation products, the most important thing is knowing how to protect ourselves and our loved ones in a practical, effective way in daily life. And the key to it all is distance, the golden rule that anyone can easily apply. According to the inverse square law in physics, the intensity of electromagnetic waves decreases rapidly with the square of the distance from the source. In simpler terms, if you double the distance from the signal source, the wave intensity you're exposed to drops to just 1/4. This scientific principle explains why keeping a greater distance from wireless devices makes exposure safer and significantly reduces potential negative effects, especially in sensitive environments like the bedroom. So how do we apply this principle effectively in real life? First, if you are using a Wi-Fi modem at home, try placing it at least 6.5 to 10 feet away, or about 2 to 3 meters or more from your bed. Doing this can significantly reduce the amount of electromagnetic radiation directly reaching your sleeping area, creating a cleaner environment for your body to relax and recover. In addition, instead of relying solely on wireless Wi-Fi, you can connect fixed devices like desktop computers or smart TVs to the modem using an Ethernet cable. This allows you to keep the modem far away from bedrooms or places where you spend a lot of time resting without affecting your internet experience. Wired connections do not emit electromagnetic waves like Wi-Fi does, which helps lower the overall exposure for everyone in the house. Another simple but very effective solution is to turn off the Wi-Fi when it is not in use, especially at night. This not only saves electricity, but also prevents continuous exposure to electromagnetic waves during your sleep. If turning it off manually is inconvenient, you can use a timer switch to automatically power down the Wi-Fi during your sleeping hours. Additionally, mobile phones are a constant source of electromagnetic waves that many people keep right next to their heads while sleeping. In reality, you should place your phone at least 3 feet or about 1 meter away from your bed, ideally at the foot of the bed. Doing this reduces exposure to waves that could affect your head and brain during sleep, and also minimizes disruptions from notifications or calls, which helps improve sleep quality. Only in special situations, such as when you live very close to powerful sources, like high-voltage power lines, electrical substations, or large industrial broadcasting facilities, should you consider more advanced protection methods, such as Faraday cages or specialized wave-blocking panels. These tools are specifically designed to block or absorb electromagnetic waves, but are expensive and unnecessary for most everyday situations. Following simple principles like these not only helps reduce the effects of electromagnetic waves in a scientifically sound way, but also brings real health benefits, especially for older adults who are more vulnerable to environmental influences. Best of all, these are easy-to-follow solutions that do not require major investments or complicated lifestyle changes. With this knowledge and these strategies, you no longer have to live in vague fear or waste money on unproven anti-wave gadgets. Instead, you now have scientifically backed tools that are easy to implement and can help you improve both your daily well-being and overall health. After learning about the potential effects of electromagnetic waves and how to protect ourselves from unwanted exposure, it is also important to take a broader look at their role in everyday life and in modern medicine. In reality, not all electromagnetic waves are harmful. In fact, many types are used in positive ways to improve health and support medical treatments. One of the best-known examples is PEMF, or pulsed electromagnetic fields, an advanced medical technology that is widely used to treat conditions such as arthritis, bone injuries, and inflammation. PEMF works by generating electromagnetic pulses with carefully controlled frequency and intensity to stimulate tissue regeneration, improve blood circulation, and effectively reduce pain. Numerous studies have shown that this therapy can help accelerate bone healing, enhance joint function, and ease chronic inflammation, making it especially helpful for older adults who are more prone to joint and bone problems. Another form of electromagnetic wave commonly used in healthcare is infrared radiation. Unlike radio waves or Wi-Fi, infrared waves generate gentle heat that can improve blood flow, relieve muscle tension, and support deeper sleep. Devices such as infrared lamps or massage machines that use this technology have become popular tools for relaxation, pain relief, and improving quality of life. These examples show us something very important: the key to determining whether electromagnetic waves are helpful or harmful lies not in what kind of wave it is, but in the dose, frequency, intensity, and duration of exposure. It is similar to sunlight in moderation. It helps your body produce vitamin D and improves your mood. But with too much exposure, ultraviolet rays can become a serious risk, including causing skin cancer. Likewise, electromagnetic waves can either help or harm depending on how we control and use them. Understanding this correctly not only helps eliminate unnecessary fear, but also opens the door to using electromagnetic technology to improve health, treat illness, and enhance daily life. That is why modern medicine does not avoid electromagnetic waves. Instead, it studies them carefully and develops therapeutic applications that have brought real benefits to millions of people around the world. Overall, Electromagnetic waves are an essential part of modern life. When we understand their true nature, know how to minimize potential harm, and take advantage of their medical benefits, we empower ourselves to live healthier, safer, and more effective lives. We have just explored a wide range of insights about electromagnetic waves, from common misconceptions and potential risks to practical protective strategies and even their valuable medical applications. The most important thing to remember is that electromagnetic waves are not invisible enemies we must fear completely, nor are they something to ignore. By understanding how they work, reducing unnecessary exposure, and embracing beneficial uses of technology, you can protect your health, especially for older adults who are the most vulnerable group. Tonight, try one simple step: move your Wi-Fi modem at least 6.5 to 10 feet away, or about 2 to 3 meters from your bed, and turn it off when it is not in use, especially at night. Give your body the chance to rest in the cleanest possible environment, and tomorrow morning come back and leave a comment sharing how you slept. I would truly love to hear your experience. If you found this video helpful, do not forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends and loved ones. Together, let's build a healthier, more positive community where everyone knows how to care for and protect their well-being through real science-based knowledge. Thank you for watching until the end of this video. I will see you again in the next one.